Call to order the New Kent County Board of Supervisors Monday, December 8th, 2025 meeting to order. Reverend Hathaway, would you come and lead us in the invocation and pledge, please?
Certainly. Please bow with me in prayer. Eternal and all-wise God, we pause at the close of this year with grateful hearts. We thank you for the gift of community, for the privilege of service, and for the sacred responsibility of leadership entrusted to our leaders. We give thanks for the New Kent County Board of Supervisors for their time, their vision, their sacrifice, and their commitment to the people they serve. Thank you for the decisions made, challenges faced, victories achieved, and lessons learned throughout the year. We offer special gratitude for their families, for our county administrator, and the entire county staff, those seen and unseen, who work daily with professionalism, dedication, and integrity to make New Kent truly a place where people can live, work, and play with pride and purpose. Bless their efforts, strengthen their resolve, and renew their energy. We thank you for the partnership between local government and the beloved community, a partnership rooted in mutual respect, shared responsibility, and a common desire for the well-being of all. May that partnership continue to grow in wisdom, trust, and effectiveness. As we stand at the threshold of a new year, Lord, we look forward with hope to 2026. Grant fresh vision for what is possible, civility for every conversation, wisdom in every decision, and compassion in every action. May the work done in this chamber always reflect a genuine concern for every neighbor, every family, and every business. Bless this meeting tonight. In your divine name we pray. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Hathaway, as always. And again, thank you for organizing all our pastors and reverends this year. I think that's a crucial part, integral part of starting each meeting with prayer. Ms. Watkins, will you call the roll?
Mr. Evelyn?
Here.
Mr. Moyer?
Here.
Ms. Pearson?
Here.
Mr. Steers?
Here.
And Ms. Stewart?
Here.
Good evening, fellow board members. Appreciate everybody coming out here tonight. First item tonight is the consent agenda. Any comments, changes?
Mr. Chair, I just have one potential change on the January 2026 meeting date. I wanted to see if we could do the 13th instead of the 12th of January. That's a Tuesday. I just have a conflict on the 12th.
I don't have any. You want to change it to the 13th?
Yes, if possible.
Works for me. Anybody? Is everybody else okay?
Yep. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So, no other changes? You want to make a motion?
So, Mr. Chair, with the change of Resolution R-39-25, noting the January board meeting date now being January 13th, 2026, rather than January 12th, 2026, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Any other comments? Ms. Watkins, poll the members.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
All right. Motion passes. Next is the citizens' comment period. Anyone signed up? No one signed up. The special presentations tonight from the Chickahominy Area Triad is being postponed. Next is the Residency Administrator's Report.
Good evening. Philip Frazier, resident engineer in Ashland. Moving pretty quickly tonight. So obviously it's been a busy about 5 days. So my report is going to focus on what the department has been doing since last Friday, really even before that. So obviously we had 2 winter events, one on Friday and then one yesterday. So we, over the last few days, we had 3.5 inches with this past storm. We've been in 24-hour operations since Sunday night, Monday morning at midnight. We've had over 100 pieces of equipment that were operating across the residency, so that's not just in New Kent, but that's Charles City all the way to Goochland. It's about 50-50 split between some of our hired equipment trucks, the contracted trucks that we employ every year, as well as our own state force equipment. You know, we did not do any kind of pre-treatment for this particular storm just because of a lot of the residual salt and chemicals that were already on the road from the previous event. But frankly, I think we did a pretty good job as an agency. Our roads are in a clear condition on our primaries. Our secondaries, we're still seeing some spots where there's some minor impacts, some icy spots. Last night didn't do us any favors, getting down into the teens, waking up this morning and everything was still frozen and locked up. The sunshine did help us immensely today to help break loose some of those icy spots, but it's still going to be cold again tonight. So we will have crews working. We're releasing all of our hired equipment trucks, so all those contractors, we're releasing them this evening, but we will retain all of our state force night shift crews through tonight to monitor those secondary roads and primaries to treat some of those cold spots for tomorrow. So with that, I'll be happy to take any questions on snow. I know that there's some other things that are going on, and if you're looking for an update on one of those items, I'm happy to provide that if requested.
Ms. Stewart?
I actually don't have anything this month. Just wanted to share my appreciation with you for showing up. I know that you have a lot going on in our region right now, so I appreciate it, and I have nothing. I will check back in the new year about the Chickahominy Shores and all the ditches, but for now, I appreciate your diligence in the weather event, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Steers?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you showing up at the Brickshire Community Center to show off the artist rendering of the permanent roundabout to be construction, I hope, next year. I know you said 27, but I'm hoping you can push that up to 26. I'm just saying. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Understood.
Thanks
Yes.
for all you do for us, too.
Thank you.
Ms. Pearson?
Hi, Mr. Frank.
And Ms.
I
Dixon?
don't have anything either, actually. I
Okay.
appreciate you getting the emails that I send about Exit 211, the ideas that the residents have, and
Yeah.
at least contemplating them and responding to them. I think that, you know, a lot of them just want to be heard. They're frustrated. Things have gotten better, though, I believe. I just want to commend you on the weather event also. I know the timing is hard to predict, but I think all in all, you did what you could. So we appreciate that, and I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Ms. Moyer?
Yeah, thank you again for all that you guys have done the last 5-6 days. It's always refreshing when we see the pre-treatment goes down. You know, we know we're going to have a nice situation for the primary roads, and it's worked out really well for that storm.
Sure.
And I understand not putting anything down because there was enough crap on the floor on the streets anyway. But we really appreciate you working all those hours and that. If you guys could look again towards that Brookwood Manor situation with Timber Road, Woodbrook Road, and that, and see if they really think a tractor trailer could go back there and make the turns that it would need to have. I really, it'd be good to look at that one more time.
So that's something that we would review if there is a site plan submittal for a new entrance. And I don't know that we have received something like that.
Okay.
Mr. Hathaway, do you know if anything has come through the planning office for a new entrance for that? I think it's a Pleasance Hardware.
I
I don't believe there's been a formal site plan submission at this point. We've seen some preliminary plans, but
Okay.
no formal plans that would have gone to you.
Okay. So,
Okay, good.
Mr. Moyer, what I'll do is Jason Brook, he's out of my land use office.
Right,
He's actually
okay.
been working nights for snow for the last few days. So when he gets back on his regular schedule, we'll catch up, see if we've seen any of those conceptual
Okay.
designs and if there's any concerns from our end prior to seeing any kind of site plan
Yeah,
submission.
really. Thank you very much. I really like to check that out. That'd be great. Thank
Okay.
you.
I just extend the same sentiments from my fellow board members. Thank you. It's been a lot going on in New Kent this year, and next couple of years we'll have a lot going on where we're going to be working in partnership with VDOT. So thank you for being open communication and trying to work out when we have problems, work things out. And please give the best to your staff and your families. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right.
You guys have a good one.
We have two presentations this evening. Our first one is FY25 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. Addison Rochely.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Addison Rochely. I'm a senior associate with Brown Edwards. I'm filling in tonight with the weather that was just being talked about. On our end, all of our board presentations are this week, so all of them have also been rescheduled. So I'm filling in a little bit. I do apologize. I'm not very familiar with the New Kent audit, as it's not one that I work on. I worked on it about 2 or 3 years ago as a staff. I've been with Brown Edwards for 5 years now. So I'll give an overview kind of the specifics of what we do and what we issue as a deliverable. If you have any questions on specific balances or anything that I do talk about, and it's more specific to the actual activity, I would just recommend you talk with Trip about that one, just for familiarity on my end. As I figured out I was doing this yesterday. So like I said, I've been with Brown Edwards for 5 years. Been with local governments for about the same amount of time. On our financial statements, you will see close to the beginning around PDF page 12, if you're following along, is going to be our audit opinion. On the financial statements or the annual comprehensive financial report, there's 2 opinions that we'll have included in there. The first one, just oversight on the financial statement opinion itself. It's a clean audit opinion. It'd be the highest level that we can get or that we can give for an audit. So it met all criteria, no material misstatements that were significant, anything like that. So that's certainly a positive. When we do the audit, there are some responsibilities of management that we will acknowledge in that opinion. And then there's also some responsibilities on our end. There's a couple paragraphs that outline the 2 responsibilities there. And then there's also going to be some discussion on some of the statements in the back, the required supplementary information, and some of the tables, the pension and OPEB information and stuff like that. Those aren't going to be subject to the same auditing standards as your basic financial statements, such as the audit of the general fund or any of the major funds that are at the front end of the financial statements. We review those, make sure they are consistent with the actual financial statements themselves, but we don't audit them to the same extent. So there's just slightly different procedures that we do there. For the most part there, or for everything there that's included though, everything is consistent, nothing that we would have any concern over. All the way at the end of the financial statements is going to be our compliance opinion or our comments over financial reporting matters. That's going to be specific to state requirements and also some governmental accounting standard requirements specific to looking at internal controls over financial reporting. Very pleased to announce there's really nothing there. So if you were to flip to that opinion and read over it and then go to the following 2 pages where it talks about any type of state findings or compliance findings, there's nothing noted. So that's certainly credit to the accounting team and everybody who has oversight over financial balances with the county. It was a pretty clean year for that statement. There's also 2 other deliverables that we give. One is a communication with governance, or essentially yourselves. And that's kind of a roadmap between us and you for what the audit looks like to cover the key points of it. So it's going to talk about some areas like estimates or areas of the financial statements where there would be estimates present. That could be depreciation of capital assets. That could be the estimates that the actuaries will give for retirement plan balances and stuff like that. So just to give you guys the awareness there when you're reading through it, that those aren't balances that are specifically tied to an invoice or a bill that comes through that's very identifiable. There's a little bit more of an estimate on management's end, on the accounting team, to go ahead and get those balances recorded. We do give our consideration on that when we do the audit. We review for consistency, and there is nothing unusual there. So that's great. The other part of the audit committee letter is going to be kind of the areas of concern, or if we had difficulties working with management. We didn't have any this year. That's fantastic news. And then it's going to go over kind of where we might have had a couple journal entries or anything like that. There can be two types of journal entries that we would normally work through or document there. The first one would be proposed journal entries that end up being made by management, usually because they might be made because they're material, they might be made because they're quick and easy to fix. And then there's unrecorded journal entries, ones that we brought up that weren't recorded. There can be a variety of reasons for why journal entries wouldn't be recorded. It could be complexity of recording the journal entry at the time in which it was noted and just getting everything through the financial statements. It could also just be immaterial balances where it's not really going to have a significant impact on anybody that would be reading those statements. And so we just note those there with the balances, but usually they're really nothing of concern on those ends. So there were a handful. If you had any questions on them, again, I would default you to ask Tripp on why that would have been or what the nature would have been for those. But a lot of times those are repeating journal entries that come up every year that are being passed on again and again each and every audit cycle. And that's not unusual just for the county. That's all of our audits in general. The last one is going to be a management letter. That's more of an oversight over what we would see on internal controls with a financial statement audit and what our involvement is within the financial statements. We are only looking at the financial statements themselves and designing an audit for the financial statements. We're not auditing internal controls, but we might see internal controls and use those to build an understanding of our audit or audit procedures. So if we see any lapses in internal controls, we would go ahead and put those on the management letter, but it is not designed to say that we audited all internal controls of the county. That would be a separate type of engagement. On the management letter, there is one comment relating to some controls over the sheriff department. Those were brought up to us as the auditors. It's not something that we identified during the audit. I do believe you have been briefed on that before. Us communicating it isn't communicating anything different than has already been identified or discussed. It's just we're going ahead and communicating that with the deliverables now in December, a few months after the fact. Other than that, the end of the management letter is going to have some updates on prior year comments if you would have been familiar with any of those from prior years, and then the status of those. All of those comments have been addressed and all of them have been cleaned up essentially. So if you were to read through those, it's going to give what the comment was, and then there's a current year status that says no longer applicable. Again, that's certainly kudos to your accounting team, management over any of the functions of those specific comments or anything like that for the work they put in to do that. So again, in summary, a very clean audit this year, certainly something that we're very appreciative to step up and have good leadership for everybody at the county to work through the audit. It's a large undertaking on everybody's end. So when things go smoothly, it's always exciting for us. With that, if you have any questions over that, I'm happy to take them. I can also pass things back to the audit team, or Tripp can answer them as well. So,
any comments, questions?
So, Mr. Chair, just one. Mr. Lawrence, kudos to you and your team for doing a really great job. As they said, I know it's a lot of work, so thank you for making it look really easy for us and doing such a great job. And Addison, I'm sorry, I didn't catch how you pronounce your last name. So
yeah, it's Reshley.
Okay, so
you'll never
Reshley.
get it right the first or second time, so it's okay.
Third time's a charm. Is your team the one that edits this document if there need to be edits made to it?
Certain parts of it, yes. We could certainly work through that if necessary.
I just want to make sure on in the introductory section, page small, Roman numeral I. My name is Jordan Stewart. I'm the supervisor for District 5. Just want to make sure that's listed correctly there.
Can you remind me what it's listed as right now?
John Lockwood.
We'll get that fixed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other? I don't see that. Any other comments? Mr. Steers?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rossley, we appreciate everything you just said, and that was a lot of information. I would just like to ask if our trip Lawrence agrees with everything you just said. And that's enough said. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, another good audit, Mr. Lawrence, and I think says a lot from the top down. I mean, it's a team process, staff process, and all the directors that work for the county as well. So, congratulations to you and all the directors and all the staff here in New Kent and Mr. Hathaway's leadership. Appreciate it. Our next presentation is a request for supplemental appropriation for emergency erosion repair on Patriots Landing Place. Mr. Lang.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you for your time. Coming to you for a request for funds to repair this erosion situation here on Patriots Landing Place. We actually came in 23 and did some repair here, but this area has not held up. Typically, we are not in the stormwater business. However, in this case, the scour threatens the sewer pipes that are in the easement here on this slope. So, and of course, it is a significant risk to the resident and his family as well, being right in their backyard. So in this instance, I think it is best for public utilities to go ahead and take care of the problem. Our request is for $61,500 based on an estimate from BTS Construction. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any comments, Stu?
Mr. Lang, thank you for your presentation. Is the developer has no liability in this at all?
Well, it's difficult for me to say exactly who has the liability, but in the time it would take to sort all that out and get it litigated, this is only going to continue to get worse. We have repaired similar issues in Brickshire in the past. I don't know if you recall, 7 or 8 years ago. We had a similar issue that did take out the sewer line. So the risk here for us is a sewage release to the lakes of 5 Lakes.
Okay,
which is, to me, far outweighs the cost.
Thank you.
Do you have a breakdown of like the number 3 rock and all? I mean, it's hard to tell from that picture of how bad it really is.
I measured this, and I've got a couple more pictures. But this, by the way, is not the sewer pipe. This is where we have attempted to extend the residence drainage pipe past the edge of the easement. So this is 3.5 feet deep right here, straight down. I went out right before the snow and measured it. And at its widest spot, let's see here, across here, this is over 8 feet. So, and then it goes about 20 feet down this is a very steep slope. And there's one more.
Okay.
Inside this, under this flower pot is a sinkhole that is opened up, so it's undermined as well. So we have basically, this whole area was a fill. This was a drainage prior to development, and it was filled in, and the fill material pushed to the back. That's where the sewer line is, and it continues to flow water. Is the runoff is concentrated to this point.
We've had, like I said, I remember issues there before.
Correct. So we're going to come back with stone and build it up, and we're going to have a sheet of impermeable fabric underneath and then build it up with stone. It's not going to be very pretty, but it should hold up.
Mr. Chairman, I walked with Mr. Lang and saw the crevice that's there, and it's quite extensive, yes. And I'll be the first to admit that we've had a few other types of things like that in Patriots Landing and Nestle. We went from a farmer's field and swamp to a development, and sometimes problems happen like that. And I would think that this developer is so far away and gone from this project that it would take time and a lot of money to litigate something like this. But hopefully this is a solution, not just a remedy. This will take care of it.
Yes, sir.
Any other? It's hard for me to tell. How steep is that? It's pretty steep.
That is about a 2-to-1 slope. It's pretty steep. We can't put any of our equipment on it.
So he's
That's why
thinking
we
number
have
three.
to-
He's thinking number three's rocks will hold it. Looks like-
Number 3 and riprap with
Okay, now
polyethylene liner.
okay, because your quote just said number threes. I didn't see where it said anything.
Yeah, we actually have a meeting with BTS in the morning
All right.
to sort
So
out
we're
the
perhaps going in
details.
that too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right, Mr. Moore. Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I move to authorize the appropriation of up to $61,500 for emergency erosion repair in the sanitary sewer easement on Patriots Landing Place.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Any other discussion? Ms. Watkins, poll the members, please.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. We have a few minutes before we can start the public hearing. Do we want to go to appointments? I know a lot of these appointments, we normally wait till January, but does anybody have any appointments they want to make today? It doesn't make much difference. Delegated by district.
Caught me off guard here.
I'm sorry, appointments delegated by district.
By district? Okay. Should I get mine?
Anybody? Yep.
I move to appoint Tommy Tiller as District 2 Representative to the Economic Development Authority to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2029. And also to give out some praise, love to Larry Hayslip, who has done it for 24 years, been the appointment for District 2. So we appreciate his service at the same time as hoping for really good stuff from Tommy.
Anyone else?
I
Yeah.
got one more. I move to nominate Joey Crump for Circuit Court appointment as District 2 Representative to the Board of Zoning Appeals to serve a 5-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2030. No, I am sorry about that. That's a different. It's my mistake. Let me change that. I move to nominate Mike Salmon for Circuit Court appointment as a District 2 Representative to the Board of Zoning Appeals to serve a 5-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2030. Mr. Crump is a different appointment.
Does that appointment have to be by district?
Mine is by
Mike,
district.
he's in my district.
Oh. Well, he's been
Yeah,
on mine.
yeah, because Tommy had him on the Parks and,
Oh,
he was on Parks and Rec, but I don't know.
Here Mike wants to do it again, sir.
Is that a? Can we just hold off on that one until January?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just do that.
I just had one appointment versus 3.
Ms. Pearson?
I move to appoint Kristen Edwards as District 3 Representative to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission to serve a 3-year term beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2028.
Ms. Stewart?
I move to appoint Greg Thompson as District 5 Representative to the Economic Development Authority to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31, 2029.
I move to appoint Tammy Feltz as District 1's representative to the Historic Commission to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2028. And I move to appoint Margaret Best as District 1's alternative representative to the Historic Commission to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2028.
Was the first one Tammy Feltz?
Mm-hmm. There's no other. Ms. Watkins will, Ms. Steers.
Did you want us to wait till?
No, you can. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the board and staff appointments. I got it mixed up. We normally wait for the board and staff appointments first of the year. So, yeah.
You want to wait on District 4 appointments till January?
No. Any appointments you want to do, I'm sorry. We normally wait for typically what the board and staff appointments, D, is normally in January.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Derek. Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Derek Kessner as District 4 representative to the Clayton County Committee to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31, 2029. I move to appoint Margaret Pomfrey as District 4 representative to the Historic Commission to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31, 2029. And I move to appoint Karen Schuman as District 4 alternate representative to the Historic Commission to serve a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31, 2029. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Watkins, will you call the roll for the appointments delegated by district?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Appointments not delegated by district? Regional boards. This is one. Is that okay with the rest of the board? Do these? All right. I guess there's a time. We have one public hearing this evening. Application CUP-03-25, Resolution R-38-25, Conditional Use Permit Request to Operate a Preschool. Mr. Silva?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members of the board. Again, I'm here this evening to present on the first and only public hearing item on the agenda this evening, the aforementioned CUP, again for a preschool at 4001 New Kent Highway, the location of the existing Providence United Methodist Church. So, again, the CUP is required based on the zoning of this parcel. This is an R1 single-family residentially zoned parcel, which does require CUPs in order for daycares to operate. Just as a quick point of note, sort of a process note, if it were to be the church themselves operating the daycare as an accessory to the actual church use, that wouldn't require the CUP, but because the applicant is a third party to whom space within the church would be leased in order to operate the use, that's what triggers the requirement for the CUP. To provide a sort of brief overview about the proposed use, the applicant, Ms. Kane, is intending to operate a preschool at Providence United Methodist Church during times that the church is largely not in use during the week. So this would be proposed hours of operation from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Monday to Friday, in order to minimize any potential conflict between the two respective uses. So the applicant is proposing to provide care for no more than 60 children at any one time, with a staff of between 10 to 12 preschool employees within 4 existing classroom spaces located within the church. The preschool would also utilize an existing 7,000 square foot fenced-in outdoor play area located in the southwestern portion of the site. Sort of difficult to see here, but called out on this sort of bird's eye view graphic over in the corner of the parcel. In terms of pickup and drop-off operations, an important consideration for traffic impacts, the applicant is proposing to utilize a staggered approach to pickup and drop-off, where there would be a 2-hour window for drop-off procedures at the beginning of the day and a 2-hour window for pickup procedures at the end of the day. So, in an effort to minimize a bunch of cars coming at once, that kind of helps to spread things out a bit. So generally speaking, staff is supportive of the CUP request, but I would like to take a quick moment to just highlight some of the comments that we had received from our reviewing agencies. So with respect to feedback from the Sheriff's Office, they had asked in their review of the application that the applicant actually reach out to them to arrange a meeting with Sheriff's Office staff so they could provide their contact information as the applicant and also to arrange for a security assessment of the property based on the sensitive nature of the use involving children, et cetera. As well as to address any other security concerns. So that requirement has been added as a condition of approval to the CUP. And my understanding that that process has already been started by the applicant coordinating with the Sheriff's Office. So we'd like to see that. With respect to environmental feedback, our environmental reviewers noted that any land disturbance or at the site, disturbing more than 2,500 square feet would have to follow all applicable procedures as it relates to land disturbance permit issuance, erosion and sediment control considerations, all that good stuff. So just abiding by our standard regulations there. With respect to the building division, they noted that total occupant load would ultimately be determined at the certificate of occupancy process because this is technically a change in use for this space. There would have to be a new CO issued. So any improvements potentially necessitated by that change in use would be addressed at that CO stage. Again, the applicant has already been talking with the county's building official, and it doesn't look like anything substantial will be required, but again, that'll be addressed at the CO stage. Just the last few here, I'd be remiss not to mention our own sort of scope of consideration in the planning office. But while we are generally speaking anticipating impacts from the preschool use to be relatively low, we have added a number of conditions of approval that are intended to mitigate and address things like traffic and parking, hours of operation, total child care volume, which is to say number of children that could be cared for, use of play areas, and other safety considerations. So we have crafted a number of conditions of approval. I'd be happy to get into if you have any questions about those that address those items. With all that in mind, subject to the conditions of approval stated in the resolution and staff report before you this evening, staff is continuing to recommend approval of the request. And likewise, at their November 17th meeting, the Planning Commission also voted to forward a favorable recommendation along to the board. Finally, I just did want to mention that the applicant in the request, Ms. Lacey Kane, is here this evening as well, just in case you all had any questions for her as the applicant. But with all that in mind, I conclude my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Before we have any questions for you, is anyone signed? I open a public hearing. Has anyone signed up? No one signed up. All right, I'll close the public hearing. Any questions or comments for Mr. Silva? Ms. Stewart?
Mr. Silver, the daycare center operates under what state agency?
Like who would review daycare certifications,
right,
et cetera? So that'd be the Department of Education.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
That's the main people that oversee the.
Yeah, they'll often ask. They'll kind of kick things back to the locality and ask, the zoning administrator or whoever the pertinent zoning official is to verify that what's being requested is able to take place there and complies with all of our local zoning regulations. But generally speaking, with respect to the certifications, et cetera, yes, it would be.
Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Stewart?
So, Mr. Chair, I just had a couple of questions for the applicant. Oh, probably not. I think these are easy questions. Thank you. And so I read on the information provided that you plan to have 10 to 12 preschool employees. Are these going to be new people that you hire, or are they already a part of your team now?
New. So it's a lot of people can't work full time, depending, like VCU students and stuff like that. So some of them would be like part time. That's why it's so many.
Could you say that you're creating jobs within the county if we approve this request?
Yes, because I'm finding that most people don't want to drive out here. The site is like 10 minutes from my house, and the people that I talk to are like people that are local, because again, nobody wants to drive out here.
We could tell them all the great things why they should come out here and live where they currently live. Do you think you're going to be able to find 10 to 12 employees, or do you think
I think so. So one of the things, one of my goals, so I have a nonprofit attached to the LLC that has the goal of like teacher development. So people from like other businesses, maybe they work at like grocery stores or other places, would like to like start a new career and just helping them with development. So I'm not necessarily looking for someone who has like a ton of teaching experience, if that makes sense, but like maybe some high school graduate students that want to explore a career in teaching. I have a master's in education, and I've always been passionate about like coaching teachers. So that is one thing that is really important to me.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being passionate about that. I appreciate it. And Mr. Chair, thank you. That's all.
Anyone else?
I do have a question. So how many children will it accommodate? It's probably in here, so.
So it says 60, but honestly, it's probably going to be less because looking at the Department of Education guidelines and like measuring all the rooms, our max is like 10 in each room, and there are 4 to 5 rooms. So 10 on any given day, although we are being flexible with offering parents part-time. So we'll have
That's great.
basically more than 60 unique students, but only 60 per
gotcha.
day on campus at a time.
Sure. There's a huge demand in New Kent right now for daycare, so I appreciate
Yeah,
you
a
bringing
lot
that
of parents, including
forward.
myself,
Yes.
work from home.
Yes.
And they need like 2 to 3 days and not a full
Sure.
week. And
And
childcare
that's
is
not
really
always
expensive.
offered in
Yeah.
childcare facilities, so that's wonderful. Thank you.
I agree. It's definitely a need here in New Kent, and best of luck to you if it passes. Yeah. Any other comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt Resolution R-38-25, granting approval to application CUP-03-25 to permit the applicant to operate a preschool at 4001 New Kent Highway, further identified as tax map 20-10 and GPIN L08-0542-1610, subject to the proposed conditions of approval.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. Any other comments? Ms. Watkins, poll the members, please.
Ms. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Moyer?
Aye.
Ms. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
And Mr. Evelyn?
Aye. Motion passed. Next, elected officials reports. Mr. Moyer?
I'll leave Ms. Stewart to have the Plan RVA kind of that thing about last week. A couple things. One, Virginia Housing is and it's a somewhat of a state organization, but they're mainly based with empowered to give mortgages, loans out, and one of the things they just came out with is a community hero grant that's available to first responders, nurses, teachers, and it can be up to $10,000 towards their down payment, and that opens December 11th, and that'll be on their website, Virginia Housing. Also, I have a little kind of town hall sidewalk committee meeting, I might call it, at Station 6 on the 16th of December at 9 a.m. I hope to see some of the people out there then. Any concerns, discussions, please come out, and it's a good chance to see the fire station too. The fire station was all decked out this weekend for the Santa Claus, and I believe the Junior Women's League did a great job making it very festive. Thank you.
Ms. Pearson?
I actually don't have any announced events this time. I figure everybody's pretty much booked up the most wonderful time of the year right now. Hopefully everybody's got events scheduled with their family and friends. I just want to give a huge shout out to staff for the grand illumination. It really was a nice event. The weather held out. I didn't think it was going to be good on the weather front, but it really was. So especially Holly Nagy and Krista Utzi and the administrative staff, Wanda and Amanda and you, Mr. Hathaway. It's a special event here in the county. That and the 4th of July event, I think, are two real, and the Fall Festival too, are what make New Kent what it is. Such a special place to be. So a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of our residents. Thank you.
Mr. Steers.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Have had quite a few town hall meetings lately. Had a Brickshire town hall meeting with the VDOT people there to show artist rendering of the permanent roundabout, which you heard me mention something earlier about. Had a town hall meeting at Oakmont Villas, their annual meeting. Kent Hill residents had their town hall meeting at the Providence Forge Rec Center. Next week on the 18th, Providence Forge will have a meeting at the Providence Forge Rec Center to discuss the streetscapes for the Providence Forge area. The Forge Foundation had another successful Thanksgiving feast. We served over 1,000 meals. We sent food to all the shut-ins in the county, to all 6 fire stations, and we served about 1,000 meals. The Providence Forge Christmas Parade is this Sunday. Expect delays on Route 155 and 60, starting between 1 and 1:30. Thank you.
Ms. Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Moyer, are you going to go down the slide during your sidewalk meeting? If so, I would like to come. No, Mr. Chair, as Mr. Moyer said, we had a great Plan RVA meeting this past week. I think most of us were there. It's the annual joint meeting between the TPO, CVTA, and Plan RVA, and I think it was very obvious to those in the room that New Kent is on the map, and we're working hard within those 3 organizations and here with staff to make sure that everyone in our region and the state helps us prioritize us here in the county and how people travel through the county. So I think that was just a great example of how we work together to make sure money is coming into our county. We also, as I mentioned at the previous meetings, at our next Plan RVA meeting on February 12th, we're going to be talking about housing and housing affordability. So I hope to have more to report on after that, and I hope more resources will be available to us after that. Switching gears, the Department of Social Services has their Christmas assistance applications open until tomorrow for those that need applications. And then for people who want to sponsor a family or a child, you can do that online through a form. It's very easy. And then for the Eltham Streetscape, we're having a meeting December 17th at Lacanos in the evening, 6 p.m. A lot of Eltham residents should have gotten a postcard already, but I'll make sure that I share that information on my social media. And lastly, just wanted to share words of appreciation with our public safety team. I know we praise VDOT when it snows, but their jobs get exponentially harder, so just wanted to share just my sincere appreciation. And I have been staying off the roads, so you're welcome. But just thank you very much for your hard work, and it does not go unnoticed.
Thank you. Staff reports.
I have none. Thank you.
Any other business? All right. Well, on behalf of the board, I would like to wish Merry Christmas to our staff, all our residents. I think we've had a successful year as a board. We've accomplished a lot. We've been through a lot, and I don't think it's going to slow down in 2026. So enjoyed working with all of y'all this year. All right, our next meeting schedule for the Board of Supervisors will be set at this meeting. Oh, I didn't read it.
Go ahead.
January 3rd. Our next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Supervisors will be January 13th. The board will also meet for a joint meeting with the Economic Development Authority at 8:30 a.m. Thursday, December 18th at the New Kent Visitors and Commerce Center located at 7324 Vineyards Parkway, New Kent, Virginia. And we will have no December work session. With that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Ms. Stewart, Ms. Watkins, poll the members, please.
Mr. Moyer,
Aye.
Ms. Pearson,
Aye.
Mr. Steers,
Aye.
Ms. Stewart,
Aye.
and Mr. Evelyn.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.